Okay, ding, 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 gather around. What is up, my friends? Welcome, welcome, welcome to the Crypto Junkie live stream. That looks like complete S. So there it is. Welcome, hello, salute. Yeah, we got a stream going here, and welcome to the show. There's quite a bit that I want to talk about actually today. So let's let the chat kind of populate here. It is midnight my time, so I'm once again dealing with the just waking up, pounding caffeine, raw stomach vibe that you get when you do this. But you know, there's no place I'd rather be. So I just want to say that, like, with everything that's going on in the world and just how the last 2 years have changed, is like there's really nowhere else I'd rather be. I got a third monitor set up, so you'll see me looking up to the right. That's what that is. But yeah, let's let some people come in. I know that the other stream is just finishing up for DS. I think you guys were talking about marketing, which seems completely absurd to talk about marketing at a time like this, right? That's what they tell us. We should be scared right now. What's up? What's up? What's up? I think we'll probably have some people pile in from Twitch as well. I have no clue how this is categorized on Twitch, but if you're coming from Twitch, welcome. Hope you stick around. We're going to talk about macro. We're going to talk about Russia, Ukraine, narratives, WEF, crypto, Bitcoin, all that fun stuff. Yeah, pretty wild day, right? We have Russia, Ukraine just starting to warm up, and then it looks like Taiwan, China. So it looks like there's definitely some timing to all of this, right? And that's what I want to talk about, because something I talk about often on the channel is there's a deep structure to everything, right? And so that's kind of playing through here right now. Okay, sweet. You guys can hear me. I'll just say what's up in the chat. Be friendly. We got enough shit going on. We're gonna be friendly to each other, right? Heck yeah! All right, JR, welcome. Finbear, what's up, bro? Spreading a good word. Thank you. I don't have live map, but we're going to talk about some of the pieces over the last 24 hours, and really what where to be looking and what to be paying attention to. So I want to make this bigger though. So let's get me out of here. I'm just sitting here a fucking jittery mess anyways, because it's midnight my time, and so like I'm constantly dealing with the just woke up, and I'm still trying to figure out like the right caffeine source to wake me back up, and not like make me completely nauseous. But I'll tell you what, I'm pretty worthless the next day after doing these streams. But you know, this is my choice, so I'm not saying it for you to feel sorry for me or something. Okay, you might want to share this. Okay, let me take a quick look here off stream. What's up, guys? Thanks for joining in. We're just getting rolling here. We're just kind of hanging out, getting started. So we're going to talk about macro. We're going to talk about crypto and how it's acting as a risk-on asset. We're going to talk about Russia, Ukraine. We're going to talk about all the big stuff that's going on. Yes, you can hear my mechanical keyboard. Apparently, that was really, really loud in the interview that I did. Okay, let's see, what do you send me? Oh, interesting. Okay, yeah, let me save this. Thanks, Finbear, for sending that over. I love it. Yeah, okay, the link that you sent was not working. It's not working for me anyways. All right, let me just take a quick look. Yeah. Yeah. That one's not working, but I can show you what Finbear just sent. Hold on a sec. Let me stop the screen share. Just take this up. Okay, won't focus. All right, let's bring this back up. And bang. There we go. Yes, always spreading the knowledge. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. All right, U.S. biolabs in Ukraine. Okay, so let's dive in. Yeah, let's start with Ukraine, Russia. What's really going on here? Here's a good place to start. Is first off, I don't fucking know. Okay, I don't have a crystal ball. I don't have inside intel. I don't have boots on the ground. When you are not in the room on these conversations, then you really have no idea the depth of what's going on, right? So we can speculate, and sometimes you get wrecked speculating. Sometimes you're right. We can take a lot of breadcrumbs from what we've seen. We can look at those, and that can really guide us in terms of what this is all about, right? Ukraine is pretty weird from a geopolitical standpoint. We had the Hunter laptop that was very real, but yet played off as a nothing burger by mainstream media. We have all the other payoffs and collusion and essentially bribery that was going on over there. And now we have this, right? Every single world war, so a great place to start is every single world war that has ever occurred in history, they fucking lied about. So do you think magically now they're telling the truth? Do you think magically now you're getting all the intel? Do you think that by tuning into CNN, by tuning into mainstream media, that you're getting all the information, the complete picture, that some U.S. intelligence officer is just taking a quick second to send out a tweet to let all of us sheep know what the fuck is going on? Of course not. So a lot of this is lies, distraction, show. It's Max Circus, right? This is the show. This is the big show, as I say. Now, this is not me discrediting, real stuff going on the ground. Not at all. Not at all. Okay, I have no clue what's going on. I'm seeing live video just as much as you guys are about explosions, missiles, people laying on the ground, people leaving, fleeing, and you're saying it's flooding the internet right now. So all that stuff I think would be very hard to fake. So nobody's saying that in the slightest. Okay. So U.S. biolabs in Ukraine, again, we've got very interesting things going on there, right? We've got the Biden family connection here to Ukraine. So, I mean, those are just interesting things right off the top. So here is this. Thank you for sharing in the chat. Let me get back to the, okay, I got the chat pulled up in two places. So, okay. Yeah, so that's the first thing that you start to get into is and oh my God, have I seen some magically horrible takes about the color of your skin being and if it's white, then that's really what's going on here. Holy shit, dude, you couldn't be more tone deaf than to talk about fucking masks or skin color right now. So if that's you, fuck off, okay? But yeah, we don't have all the information. So clearly, what we're doing right now is speculating and really just having a conversation around it, right? In terms of the details of what's going on the ground, you're never going to know. You're never going to know unless you're in those conversations, right? So the biggest thing, so we covered the big macro. They've never told the truth, so why would they be telling the truth now, right? This is the show. So the next thing to pay attention to is the Putin press conference that we all watched yesterday. Well, I don't know if you watched it, but I watched it live. It was on. It was in Russian. It was on their network, one of their major networks, not FT, by the way. It was a different one. He was speaking Russian. It was Putin, but he was wearing the same suit from the day before. And what was interesting about this, which was supposed to be a live media event, is the transcoded date from the video itself was from the 21st. So we have a video launched on the 23rd, which conveniently is right after the Olympics finished, and the actual recording of it was done on the 21st. So that right there, again, if we knew nothing else, there's fuckery going on. Yes? Okay, so yeah, I mean, I don't have much else other than that. That all dropped at about 5 a.m. Moscow time. So if you were awake, you kind of got to see that happen. But the stock market is shut off still, I think. We're about to jump into Twitter here in just a second. I'll kind of show you a wide range of takes of what's going on. But yeah, I think it was down 40%, the Russian index essentially. And Ukraine, obviously, they've got sirens going on and everyone's trying to evacuate and get out of there, but apparently the roads are blocked. So yeah, that's what we got. Media outlets on both ends are telling completely different stories. We heard on one end that Ukrainians were laying down their weapons and surrendering, and we heard on the other end that they're not. We've heard about casualties. We don't know numbers, right? So this is what you're going to get in a 21st century. Everyone's on the internet, kind of. I guess you could call this war or struggle, right? Okay, so yeah, deep structure to everything. If I could say one thing, there's a deep structure to everything, and this is what I harp on this in a huge, huge way, right? So now let's start to talk about some other little coincidences. We'll circle back to this a little bit later, but we saw a huge sell-off immediately in S&P. I mean, that thing's looking like a what is that, Van Gogh, where he paints where it's like all the colors are running, right? It looks like a waterfall. That thing is just like drooping down, sagging like an old lady. And yeah, Bitcoin kind of did the same thing. We've got a scheduled Biden talk to address the nation at 12:30, fucking lunchtime. I don't know what the fuck that guy's doing the rest of the day, but if you're gonna play this show and get everyone to take you serious, then you should have been on national television last night. And I was even commenting about that, like this is max clownery for you to like fuck around, and you're like, what is this guy in bed already? Was he even awake? Did he even send out that tweet? Because that tweet sounded exactly like the same shit he's been saying for the last 2 weeks. You know, and this is supposed to be the most voted guy, the most voted president ever. Again, you know, politics aside, like shit just don't match up, right? And that's the obvious stuff you need to look for. So the big things that I want to point out is that you know, Ukraine was reporting a cyber attack. You should be able to see this on the screen right in the middle here. I sent out this email like maybe 30 minutes ago, and so this is actually the second time this has happened. Because if we remember back to Kazakhstan, right, and what happened there? The internet went off. There was a cyber attack. There was an internet outage, right? So now let's go back. My channel, I had another channel that had almost 20,000 subscribers, and that channel was actually deleted in one fell swoop with no notification, with no previous infringements or strikes or anything. It was deleted the day after I uploaded a video outlining, not even criticizing, just outlining the Cyber Polygon event 201, which or not 201, I think it was just Cyber Polygon. The event 201 was the other one. But that happened mid last year, I think June or July. And I just thought it was interesting because after we saw event 201 and how that kind of led to magically, coincidentally, to what happened with the last 2 years with C19, then we see that they are now talking about the next big attack is going to be cyber. So I'm like, oh, okay, we should probably pay attention, right? And that's all I was talking about. The next day, my channel completely deleted, wiped. They brought it back later and said, oops, sorry. But the point is that they said the next thing to pay attention to is cyber attack. Okay. Then right after that, we've got now remember the pipeline malware in the US? That happened first. We had back-to-back instances. They asked for Bitcoin, and so it was, I think, somewhere between 20 and 40 million. You guys can correct me. And now we've got Kazakhstan, and now we've got Ukraine. So that's what number two, at least, if not number 4, of cyber attacks. So we should start to pay attention. And with what just happened in Canada, I thought it was really interesting how all the old Klaus Schwab stuff started to circulate around again from 2017, where he was bragging about the fact that, you know, Trudeau and a lot of the cabinet members of Canada, like a huge amount, are part of the, what is that, the world leader, game changer, whatever the fuck, through the WEF. And there's a lot to pay attention to. Obviously, they're obviously the place to pay attention to in terms of narrative and what is being sent down the pipe next, right? Like, I'm sure you guys have seen this stuff floating around now. It even got fact-checked the other day because there were so many people talking about the WEF on the back end of the Trudeau stuff and what was happening in Canada. Yes, there was on their website, the year's 2030, you'll own nothing and you'll be happy. And there was this chick from 2016, I think she's in Parliament or something on Denmark. Oh no, she's the minister of something. And she said, welcome to 2030, I own nothing, have no privacy, and life has never been better. And of course, now they're trying to do the fact check. When they're doing the fact check, that tells you right there. So there's another big piece of this. When they're doing the fact check stuff, you already know it's true. Like 99% of the time, probably be true, right? Yes, young global leaders. Thank you, Finbear. Yes, they are all involved in the young global leaders. Then last week on the macro show on the Discourse Syndicate Network, Wales and myself broke down all of the connections to the chick on the Ethereum network, the Sheila Brown, that's now setting up the crypto whatever advisory board. We've got connections everywhere, all the way up the ladder, right? So yeah, let me show you a couple of those. And then if you remember her, the one that was awkwardly laughing as she was talking about shutting down bank accounts, shutting down families' bank accounts, shutting down crypto, destroying your life over parking your truck in the middle of the town. I wish they would have done the same thing with the riots and protests where they burned down cities in the US. But we could actually look at a direct example, which was when they were burning down churches, Christian churches in Canada, all across Canada. in the months prior to this situation happening, they didn't say shit. And they didn't freeze nobody's stuff over that. So again, narrative, right? So this chick's on it. I mean, everybody's fucking on this thing. The board of directors that sits above Vitalik on ETH, she's involved in WEF. Coinbase is involved in WEF. Go check out the Macro Show episode. What is that, 4? I think that'll kind of give you a good idea what's going on there, right? Yeah. Okay. Not enough hammers in here. Yeah. I don't even know if where's my band hammer? Oh, you know what? Let me add you guys. Can I do that here? Just give me a quick sec. Yes, add moderator. I'm gonna add you. I'm gonna add Hexy Quinn. Where's Wales? Wales was just in here. Thank you guys so much for jumping in with me, tuning in. It means a lot. This is where I wouldn't rather be anywhere else but where I am right now, as I always say. So there it is. Give me one. Yep, I got Kinetics. I mean, these are like OG people from like 2017 Crypto Junkies. This is like the beginning crew. Kinetics and I go way back, man. He was one of the first people into Crypto Junkies before we had thousands of people in that Discord, right, and in that community. Okay, what was I showing here? I think that was it. Oh yeah, these are my tweets. So yeah, we got this piece here. I think that's enough there. Let's go to the feed, right? So what was interesting is that it seems to be a 1-2 punch here. Is okay. There's a slight lag there, so you guys should be seeing the Twitter. There it is. Okay. The people in government of Taiwan stand with Ukraine. Okay, we're going to start to see the blue and yellow flags. We're going to start to see the hashtags, just like everyone claimed that they stood with Hong Kong, and we saw how that all went. It went horribly, in case you weren't paying attention. Then we've got this guy who is he is Chinese state media, so he is CCP media. And so what's happening now is there was the news piece. Taiwan defense minister says 9 Chinese Air Force planes entered its air defense zones on Thursday. And this clown is basically saying, get used to it. There's going to be more. This guy is fucking absolute garbage. Can't stand people like this. And there's a lot of those that are CCP related that come on and they are the facilitators of spin. So they blame everything on shit that they themselves do. If there's one thing I can't stand, it is a hypocrite that knows they're a hypocrite and then goes out and publicly tries to deceive anyways. It's the most disgusting fucking behavior to me. So I have zero tolerance for that kind of thing, right? And I'm usually like very, very vocal about that. And again, we've got people trying to spin this as a political lean on what side of the aisle you sit on. And of course that matters. This guy's historically known for his fucking dog shit takes. Here's yet another one. Take a second to read that if you care. Of course it has to do everything with skin color. Because if we didn't facilitate gender, skin color division, then who would? Right? It's almost like if everyone just stopped, it would go away. Holy fucking shit, right? Nah. So here we go. This is supposedly a tank getting blown up. So now we're starting to get first-hand accounts. I just wanted to show you some of this so that you get an idea of everything that we're basically getting as it's hitting here. Here's them evacuating. Same thing. Again, it's a complete shit show to try and, oh, you guys see this? Huh? Okay, little shout out, RG. All right. What was I think there was 2 other things I wanted to show here. No, not that. Yeah, everyone's just kind of now pointing this out, which I like it, man. It's like people are getting sharper. I will say that people are getting sharper. They're recognizing, like, wait a second, there is something afoot here, and there's a game being played. Okay, so I think that's it there. What else did I have? Oh, this. So it's kind of funny, like in a matter of like 2 weeks, everyone all of a sudden knows what the WEF is and the agenda. They've dug up this 2017 video of Klaus Schwab, earlier videos, all kinds of like fucked up shit this guy said. His book is really weird. Digging into his family, it's really, really hard to see this guy's family. They all were involved in and around the production of weapons for the Third Reich in WW2. I mean, there's some interesting stuff going on around this cat and his family. So it's definitely not somebody that just like popped up out of nowhere, has this like, because it's an NGO. WEF is sold as an NGO. And he's one of the people that started putting on events in Davos, which is now where all the, I don't like calling them elites, but all the people with influence tend to meet a couple times a year. But yeah, like he was one of the first guys to do that. I think he was the first guy to do that because I dug into him quite a bit last week, I think. So anyways, yeah, the lessons here is that with all this going on, is even our magical internet money is at risk to a degree, because you might just be at risk of moving it if there is outages. But other than that, I mean, I definitely wouldn't say sell your magical internet money to go and sit in fucking fiat, because fiat is dumb and is not going to get you what you need. I would say diversifying, though. You know, is everyone should have cash on hand. Everyone should probably have some usable gold on hand. Everyone should have some magical internet money, because the ROI is way better. It's really the only tool you've got to hedge against inflation, to hedge against this fucking insanity. We're being dragged into division that we did not sign up for. We should be like loving each other, right? As silly as that might sound, but like we are not that different. But they will play that game and get us to pretend and feel like we are different, we are isolated, and we're alone, and we don't fit in, and that we don't get along, and we're wildly different. We're not. Okay, so that is like the 101 basics of what somebody who wants to rule you will do, is they will stick a fork in between you and your neighbor. That is the fucking playbook. It's that simple. And so that's why, you know, I get on and do these streams, is because this shit is the most important stuff we could be talking about right now. So clearly the next step, because I think I've done a fairly decent job. I've written over 540 fucking emails now over the last 3 years. And a lot of this stuff I saw happening, and I called Fugosi on, you know, what was going on with C19 pretty early on. And so the next step is pretty clear. It seems like they're going to start to try and unify these databases, these cloud structures of people's data. So the social media networks will be now completely open, backdoored to intelligence agencies, and they're going to try to create what I would consider profiles, probably. So you want to talk about racism? Well, there's the heart of it right there. If you're going to profile somebody based on their behavior and then try and categorize or bucket them, that is actually profiling, is it not? So again, those are the same people that are telling all of us that we're that, when they're in fact actually building structures and algorithmic things around that, right? So next step is a digital ID. So this guy's once again connected to the WEF, and they're saying that, hey, Canada is actually in the best position to roll out this digital ID. So they'll probably try and link many systems together, but based on you know, your online presence, based on what your current poke pass looks like or poke rate is at, and if it's up to speed, if it's updated, all those factors will probably be weighted into this, right? Which I know, like, a lot of people don't like to hear this. They think this is doom and gloom, right? Positive vibes only, right? But you can't really ignore reality. And so I noticed that when you tend to react badly to stuff like this or get triggered, it's just simply because maybe you need to relook at your plan. You need to relook at like what you're doing, how you're allocating your focus and time and things like that. So this is strictly just information and data. And I'm just helping you see through the weeds, because it's really easy right now to, there's that meme where there's the dog and the house is on fire and he's sitting in the chair saying this is fine. But there's too many people that are the dog in the chair saying this is fine right now. And so clearly we don't have all the information on what's going on with Ukraine and Russia and what's to come of Taiwan and China. I'd say that'd be pretty perfect timing. The Olympics finish up. It was a complete flop. I think CNBC lost like $8 billion on that deal, broadcasting it. Yeah, and then now they're taking it over. I thought they couldn't get into Taiwan because rain season until like October, but maybe that was wrong. Or maybe they're just going to do it anyways. I don't know. But that would be pretty difficult to manage, especially with a U.S. president that can barely put together sentences. That'd be pretty interesting to see how that would go if both of those situations were unfolding at the same time. Like, who would he really stand up for? If either, right? So what I expect today is I expect maximum fuckery with NATO, UN, all of them are going to all be chiming in. They're going to be saying, hey, stop. And then Russia's going to be like, yeah, bro, hold my beer. No. And then they're going to say, please stop. And then, yeah, basically nothing. Sanctions. But they've already figured out a way to avoid SWIFT because they're going to get sanctioned and they're going to get completely removed from the SWIFT network, which I don't even know if Russia cares, because it seems like they've got some sort of deal worked out already with China. And they've been working on that for a long time with the Silk Road Initiative. They got involved in that for the last couple of years. They've really just been trying to figure out a way that they can go ahead and do that, and then not have so much come down on them from the US and whatnot. All right, let me check back in with chat. strapped in, ready to move. Okay. Yeah. I mean, this is like basic stuff. Like I remember reading about this. Like, it's kind of funny when you first come into money, you tend to be a complete fucking retard, especially if you grew up in a middle class household like I did. We did fairly well. Some years we had brand new leases, and some years we had Thanksgiving getting donated to us. I remember that growing up. So naturally, when I first started making my couple $100,000, $1 million, like I did from marketing stupid shit on the internet, is I went and spent it on all the wrong things: cars, clothes, strip clubs, etc. But then what started happening was I started to get really, really paranoid and try and figure out a way to hide my money from the government because I didn't want to pay taxes. And I'm just going to tell you that flat out. And so, yeah, it takes you down some really interesting rabbit holes. And then I started digging into, like, back then, conspiracy theory shit. It's like 2011, 2012 maybe. And digging into like conspiracy theory stuff. But yeah, like your basic 101 is like tactical bug out bags, knowing how to survive, like being able to operate a magnitude of vehicles, boats, helicopters, planes, etc. That I feel like you hear something like that, and with the comforts that we have where you can just, 2 clicks on Amazon and check out, I can go down to the corner and it's always got groceries. Usually it's always got fresh vegetables. It's always got fresh fruits. I have no clue where those fruit came from. I have no clue how many people died to get that fruit to my fucking hand. And I'm just eating that fruit, and I'm completely oblivious to so many other factors. I got that iPhone in my hand, and I completely ignore and just don't pay attention to the slave labor that was involved to make that phone, and all the amount of access I have at my fingertips. We're entitled in that way, and we're oblivious in that way, right? And so we don't really have a full picture of reality when you live a life like that, right? And it's only once you get out of the US, once you start to see these emerging markets and experience them and witness them, that you really start to have a clue of what the fuck life is, right? So anyways, I tell you all that because there's a lot of people that, they're going to hear conversations like this, and the natural thing to do is fight or flight, right? So that first reaction that you have is going to be probably panic. But if you're practicing these things, if you have a plan, a multi-step approach plan, like whatever your thing is, Bitcoin, Hex, both, cash, gold, right? You got your ducks in a row, right? The more of that you have in a row, and the more confident you feel in your plan, then the better you do. Which, isn't that common sense? Like, okay, you have a test coming up in school. Let's take it back to grade school, right? Your confidence is based on how well you've studied. Yes? Okay, how is this any different? So we can take it back and root this back to like really basic principles that we understand. Your subject matter that you've studied the most, you're the most confident at too, right? Is that a coincidence? No, of course not. Don't be silly. The belief and the confidence comes from the little micro things that have occurred, the micro wins that have occurred along the way that you've mentally checked and that you've mentally paid attention to. That creates the confidence. That creates the belief. So all you have to do is the same thing over here. And there's a clear need for it. I don't know, the last 2 years is like a red fucking flag that maybe it's time to pay attention to these things, right? You guys feeling me? You guys feeling me on this? All right, let me look at chat here for a sec. Yes, we got to unify. We got to unify, man. Unify under crypto, whatever it is that you want. Unify under people, unify under crypto, unify under people who just want to be left the fuck alone, unify under people who don't want so much government overreach, unify under people who are all different skin colors, who do not identify as right or left, who, whatever the fuck you want to get excited about and call us, do it. You know what I mean? Like, whatever. But that's the defining traits of us. I notice us meaning those of you on this stream, those of you in this community, those of you who are paying attention. Yeah. So anyways, I wanted to pivot here, if we could, if you guys don't mind, into this whole concept of a sovereignty network. So now we're talking about all this like prepper stuff, right? Building, bunkers in your backyard. So enough of that. Let's take a step back and let's talk about really the most important piece of that, because you hear a lot of what I'm saying, and the first immediate thought is little old me. I have really no way to win this. And you start to get down on yourself, right? It's really easy to let that kind of like take the wind out of your sails. It doesn't need to be, because if we've got just one piece of this, you're in much better shape than most people will be. And that is part of what I guess I'm calling the sovereignty network. This is a concept that, with all the work that DS is doing, and everything that I'm noticing going on in a macro political level is this is kind of what I put together. This is like version 1, very rough draft. But the one piece that I wanted to talk about and highlight here is this fully integrated financial stack. And the beautiful thing is that you've got a lot of that already, okay? Because we talk quite a bit about Richard Hart products. He's got the Hex product, hex.com. He's got Pulse. He's got Pulse X. Now, the reason why this is so big is because, the reality is who knows what's going to happen to Hex in the long term, right? And that by itself, there's still a huge attack surface for just that one project, just that one thing, for everyone involved. There's a huge attack surface. But now, if we start to create the entire financial stack around that, meaning we are controlling exiting and entering, so those on-ramp pieces, exchange pieces, private banking pieces, so getting that out to fiat without it having to hit my bank account, all of those pieces, if you can control that entire stack, guess what, my friends? That's an autonomous, sovereign individual right there. Yes, isn't it? So I can control going in and going out of the financial network itself, just like they do with the dollar. How do we get in and out of that? We get in and out of that with fiats. We use things like the SWIFT network to transfer money all over the world, right? We've got debit cards, which is a piece of plastic that everyone recognizes that says, yes, this guy's good for it. Yeah. And behind that is some ones and zeros on a digital ledger that allows me to, use that money. And so if you can create that, and that is what they're actually scared of. So it's kind of interesting how that's all kind of coming to a head now with Bitcoin and with crypto. And I think a lot of, Bitcoin only guys, they're doing that. If you look at a lot of guys from 2017, they talk about Bitcoin because they know it's safe. Like, think about it. If you've got street cred and you're a blue check mark or you're a YouTuber or whatever, like your safest bet is to just down the middle say, oh yeah, Bitcoin's the best, everything else is dog shit. Because it's a safe play. And nobody really wants to be out here sticking their neck out because they know that if you do that over and over again, somebody's going to out you. And they don't want to be the latest thread that goes viral on Twitter. They don't want to be a part of that at all. So that's a safe bet. But also, too, understand is that a lot of people don't want to be out there giving financial advice. That's why it's so easy to say not financial advice. Go talk to your financial planner. Is because, again, like nobody really wants to be on the hook for like, yes, here's how you would do it. You would start with this specifically, like laying out all the breadcrumbs. And in 2017, we actually used to do that. And I was learning this shit myself. So if you go back and look at a lot of the videos that I put out, is looking at them in hindsight, it's just like some of this shit is absolute trash I would talk about. I didn't fucking know. All I was doing was talking and sharing, just like I'm doing here, talking and sharing, right? With no real attachment egotistically to if I'm right or wrong. I was just trying to figure it out with my own portfolio. I lost hundreds of thousands of dollars through the bear market. I lived through the ICO market, all of that. Watched Hex launch, didn't get involved, right? So like I've got a similar story to a lot of people. And there's going through it now, I can totally see where all these people get stuck and get caught up and some fall down these different rabbit holes, right? And it's interesting to watch because I could totally see as I was myself faced with those same decisions, I could have easily gone down shill path. And like selling out, reviews and sponsorship spots and all that shit, right? Saw it, could have done it, did a little bit. Didn't like how it felt, didn't like how heavy it felt, all that. And then, especially after 2017 happened, when all those lending networks collapsed, it just didn't feel good. But I saw all those networks and all those paths, right? And the big issue I see now is that it's like, no, Bitcoin doesn't fix this. Bitcoin by itself doesn't fix this because they can still shut down your fucking Chase bank account. They can still shut down all of your shit. Now what? So there's no point in that. You need a complete financial stack. And so now we're starting to get the regulation because what's happened is they've been slowly moving in their tentacles since 2017, probably earlier, but that's when I got involved in this, and that's where a lot of my experience comes from is like just the last 4 years. But imagine what was going on before that, right? So yeah, they've been slowly moving in their tentacles. And I'm going to tell you one thing too, right now, is that everyone that you see that's a big player in the exchange space, they were put there on purpose. Sam Backman, who runs FTX, I've been saying this and screaming this for the last year. That guy's a fucking fraud. He was put in a position of power just like Zuckerberg was. He even fucking looks the same, right? Same little fro. So that was not an organic occurrence for this guy to all of a sudden be sponsoring the fucking stadium. What is that? The Miami Heat stadium, I think, and to be in this position to where they've got like billions of dollars in valuation now. The guy was put there. That's why he's also getting his dick sucked in fucking Congress by Cory Booker and others who are complimenting him on his fucking hair, right? Instead of solving actual problems. So all of this is like, this is the stuff that I want you to pay attention to. This is the game, so to say. So yeah, you need a fully integrated financial stack. How fucking cool is that though? Like this is actually happening. So you're not miles off from this. You're literally, this is going to happen this year. The next 2-3 big pieces are happening this year. Pulse is happening this year, Pulse X, so that allows you to move between layer 1 networks, between ETH, and you can already move from ETH to Poly, ETH to that polyismatic, ETH to BSC network. So all of that's already in place. Now you can move onto this. So now you've got a investment product, Hex. You've got a layer 1 Pulse for cheap transacting, right? To be able to yield farm with, et cetera, et cetera. Well, what comes after that? Well, you need some sort of exchange, and you're going to need some sort of bank piece so that the exchange doesn't get shut down, because you're going to run into that issue massively, real quick. And unless you want to lay down and get go to bed with these guys, then you're going to have other things set up before you could roll that out. What else? You're going to need like trust products and stuff that kind of bridge the legacy market into this. Right, and they're all serving you up ROI, giving you access to people, groups, syndication deals. That's all the juicy stuff, right? That's all the stuff that rich people usually get access to, which they're changing, by the way. Accredited investors, minimum of 1 million to 10 million. That tells you two things. That will remove 99.9% of people, by the way, out of being an accredited investor in the United States. It tells you that inflation is fucking very real, because $1 million is not $1 million anymore. And also, too, it tells you that they don't give a fuck about you. They don't want you involved in this game. They don't want you winning, right? And so this is how you win, though. You come out and you just say, okay, bud, and you make your own entire fucking ecosystem. And that's what's being created right now. And then you like I said, you stack an exit entrance ramp on there, and like you're pretty well set. You got banking on the back end. You've got the on-ramp, exit ramp. You've got the financial vehicles and all the new ones that will be created. Like this space is about to entirely change as soon as Pulse launches. There's going to be so many new projects on the network, it's going to make your head spin. There's going to be a ton of scams too, by the way, and a ton of people coming in trying to use similar language that you're used to hearing, depending on what community you're coming from. And yeah, it's going to completely change everything. So that's what you need to be thinking about, is that's what removes you from the game. So if that stuff gets shut down, it doesn't really matter. See, look, this is everything I'm covering. Asset protection, and then SPAC or Super PAC, right? And getting involved with politics, which, I don't know, man, that's like cancer. What is that old saying that good men usually don't want to be involved in politics, and men who want to have more power want to be politicians? Well, there you go. There's your answer. I don't know of a single person in this community, Crypto Junkies, Discourse Syndicate, Hex, I don't know of a single person, crypto as a whole, who wants to be a fucking politician. Now, the difference is like you can't ignore that. You got to get involved in that game, because that's the arena. And so you can try and ignore it, and then they're gonna play their actors against you. Like I saw a thread from Sam recently from FTX saying that like he's happy that there's all this discourse happening between legislators and exchanges. And Jess Powell from Kraken, who's like an OG, been around since the fucking beginning of the game, chimed in and was like, hey, bud, that's kind of cute that you're saying this, but like we've been here. So the language is that they've been full of shit since the beginning and tried to keep okey-doking us and pulling in all kinds of fucking bullshit over our eyes, and we're just sitting here saying no. So it's cute that you're now saying like, oh, we're so happy that there's this communication happening, but like we've been here having this fight. And so there you go. That's all you need to know, is the fact that Sam came out and said that, pretending to like be leading some sort of charge. Like, what are you leading, dude? You're the same person we're all fighting against. But yet everyone jumps on Twitter. All the 100x leverage kids jump on Twitter and suck this guy's dick. So I don't know. It's a head scratch for sure. But yeah, like again, those are the people that you want to pay attention to. Like Jess Powell, good dude. Brian Armstrong, I think he tries to be as good as he can be, but I don't think he's that great of a dude. I think he's doing what he can, right, within the framework and the pressure that he's getting. But a lot of these guys are going to fold. That 13-year-old on a DAO that you think is bulletproof because he's anonymous on Twitter, they already know where that guy lives, that kid. They already know what high school he goes to, right? Like a lot of that is not the answer. A lot of that is not going to last this next round of regulation because they're already, like I said, they're already in position. They've been slowly moving in their tentacles, right? Like ex-Obama era this, ex-Clinton era that. They've all moved into board of director positions. You've seen it. You've seen the fuckery. You've seen the chess pieces getting moved. So now they're all in position and they're in the corner of these projects, these coin projects saying like, yeah, we should be talking to them. You know, like let's at least go to the table, hear what they got to say. 6 months later, they're in bed with them. Yeah, you know, it's just a back door. We just got to report the data, you know, like, and that's what we should be doing. We should do the right thing and tell them and just report all of our users and all the wallets and what everyone's doing, right? Think about that for a second. That's the conversations happening in these people's ears. I know this for a fact because I know people involved in these projects in the crypto space, and it's dog shit, dude. None of these projects have any sort of organization, and that's the downside to a DAO, right? Is you tend to have a lot of people giving opinions that aren't qualified to give opinions, and it's just based on the fact that they own a big stack of this coin, so they get to vote on fucking stupid shit and vote the wrong way for the greater good of the project because they're not thinking of the greater good. They're thinking of themselves in their fucking bag. So that's where DAO starts to really come into a existential crisis with itself, right? But yeah, politics, got to get involved, man. Like ignoring it, none of us like this shit. I don't know about you. I don't like it. I don't like the fact that I've had to spend the last 3 years researching this shit and listening to the dribble and listening to the finger pointing. No accountability, rules for them, not for you. Rules for you, not for them. I'm fucking, yeah, dude, burnt on both ends of this dog shit. But like, does it change? Does it go away when I magically hide my head under the pillow? It does not. It does not. So you just got to decide what kind of person you are. And it's okay if you're not the kind of person that wants to get in their face. I am. I don't care. Yeah. So it has to be done. And then you got to get your own media and news network. That's another key piece because as they come at you with the propaganda arm and they start to spin, right? Broadcasting narrative, broadcasting whatever truth, history that they want on you, you have to be able to combat that. Whether it's you, your network, etc. These are like downfalls that I even see like Richard having is like he should be scooping up fucking media assets because he's going to need them. Like they haven't even started to come for that guy yet. That'll be next. They'll come for everyone and then they'll start singling people out. And so, yeah, if he had his own means, because they can just wipe that guy from Twitter, YouTube. He's got nothing. With a media network, why do you think Bezos bought Washington Post? Facebook is a media network. Twitter's a media network. Twitter's a town square now. No one's on Facebook anymore. Facebook's dying. So, anyway, yeah, how's all this hitting? You guys like this concept? You guys like this opening, getting some questions going in your mind, getting you to feel different? If you just walk away from this conversation feeling something different than you felt before, then that's a win. Yes, that's a plus. Bring my camera back on. Where am I? Focus on this camera. I like this because I like this low-key light getting blown out with all the fucking lights and doing the green screen. I'm not a fan, guys. Not a fan. Like I just bake in here. So, and it's almost 1 a.m. So, you know what I'm saying? This making sense? Yeah, like, and this is everything. Like, look around, guys. Unfortunately, there's a ton of people who don't get this. But whether it's your crypto coin project or whatever, right? There's a ton of people missing this step. Yeah. And just looking around in the crypto space, man, like, who's really doing it? Like, Vitalik? You trust this guy to like actually launch ETH 2.0? I mean, I do, but maybe not for a couple more years. Cardano and their community and like their leader, nah. Like that guy's weird, like really fucking weird. XRP, they're in a court case, but they don't really have any big leadership. They dump on your head whenever what is it, Garrington House or whatever the fuck that guy's name is. Whenever they need money, they just dump on your head. Who else do we got? With a big charismatic leader, right? I mean, I don't know why there aren't more people that are naturally following and going into something like Hex, is because like, I don't know, man, RH is like, he's a pretty different leader, and he's kind of everything that you want. Like he's like a Elon Musk, you know. He'll roll up his sleeves and get dirty where he needs to. Tends to always have a good macro overview. Doesn't get caught up in the weeds. Doesn't get like caught up in gotcha moments. Like he does essentially what you'd want. And then, you know, the community that gets built around that is absolutely crucial. But who else? You got Binance and CZ. CZ will fucking roll over in a heartbeat on people's data. And this is the same guy that, you know, like where's he really been for the crypto community, right? But he just bought Forbes, by the way. So that tells you the importance of the media piece. And this is what DS is working on, you know, and that's why I'm in on DS, like till the fucking end, is because this is the stuff that actually matters. This is what's important. You need to be scooping up and building out a huge fucking marketing campaign to spin narrative, news network, media outlet to spin narrative, to protect you, to protect the things that you care about, right? In this case, you know, the Hex product and everything else that's getting rolled out. But like, yeah, you absolutely need that in place, dude. 100%. Because it's just a matter of when they come. All right, well, you said you wish that you were on. Well, let me just give you a link. Oh shit, I didn't realize that all you guys were still on. All right, cool. We still got a bunch of the DS guys on. But yeah, I mean, it's that simple. Like if you just take a step back and look at all this, then you see that these things are absolutely crucial to do. So let me throw my headphones back on and let's get Whales on here. Absolutely, that is a must. So I'll drop this in. Where are you? When is the last time we actually chatted one-on-one? Fuck, way down. All right, I just linked you, Whales, if you want to jump on. But yeah, I mean, this was like end of January when all this, you know, because there's all these wild things that we're trying to do, and they're all coming together now. It's hugely important. Fucking mosquitoes. And so, yeah, the other piece is then like passports and citizenships and getting into, and it should be really done at a group level. But what you essentially want is you want to come together with a group. You want to all put up money, and you want to be able to buy land in various amounts of countries, and you essentially share that land. So there's housing structures built, ideally off-grid, which there's enough battery tech now outside of Tesla that you could do this shit. And yeah, you rotate. And that allows you all to spend enough time in the country to get citizenships, passports, etc., what you need. I mean, this is unfortunately becoming like basic shit. All right, Whales, welcome. Welcome to the party. You're muted, but you're on.
Hey, what's up, man? Thanks for having me on, bro. Great show, man. Great show.
Yeah, thanks for coming on. I appreciate that.
My pleasure. Damn, you know what? Give me a second, man. I got some shit going on in the kitchen. I hear myself talking. It's fucking with my head. I'll be right back.
Yeah. Okay. I'll meet you up. Yeah, let me jump in on the chat. Okay. All right, cool. Yeah. You guys are digging this? You guys are digging this, right? Questions? You guys got any questions or stuff that you'd like to add? Come on, dude. Yeah, this fucking camera. Definitely a new camera on the agenda for sure coming up. Welcome to the past 50 years of being aware. I know, dude. Isn't it a killer? I mean, just up until like C19, could you imagine? Like it was pretty difficult, like because it's still so easy to like brush you away with, oh, you're a conspiracy theorist, and it's so simple, man, so easy. But now it's like it's getting harder, ain't it? It's getting harder for those people to stay naive and turn a blind eye. So I think overall it's good because it's like forcing this enlightenment. Battery grid storage is pretty weak tech. Yeah, you're 100% right, Jordan. It's actually dog shit, which is why we've been like going nuts with the Mad Energy, which as I talk, there's like 2 or 3 days left. You might want to check that out, mad.energy. I don't even know where to begin. Green energy, battery solutions. Let's see, hydro energy. They've got Tesla towers.
It's 3 days left, by the way. It's the 27th.
3 days?
Yeah, that it ends.
Oh, it's 25th.
27 Eastern Standard Time. Eastern Standard.
Okay. Roger that. Yeah. So check that out, Jordan. Mad.energy. Let me see if I got a little ticker for that. I'll pop that up. But yeah, that's why I had George on twice. I mean, I'm just basically giving these guys as much press as I possibly could because it's like that is the energy piece. So okay, we just talked about this
100%.
talked about this sovereignty network, right? Well,
Yeah,
what's
I
missing out of
love
all
that.
this?
It's funny. And I'm sorry to interrupt, bro, but this is
No, go
kind of
ahead.
like this is the whole thing we're doing, right?
This,
This
yeah,
is this is exactly the whole point
this
of
is the whole
everything
thing.
that we're doing. People think that they're gonna get changed by just getting some fiat in their bank account and calling it a day. And that's been my message since day one. You can have all the
Mhm.
fiat you want. It ain't yours. So
Yeah,
it doesn't matter at the end of the day how much fiat you have because the system is not yours. You have no say. You can't make any determinations. Whatever you think or opine is irrelevant, period. And if the last 2 years, as you've been so gladly saying during the whole stream, haven't taught you anything, then we'll gladly leave you behind. We have no qualms about
yeah.
that shit at this point.
Yeah, so this is the whole thing that we're building, and then you got to understand this is becoming just clearer and clearer to me every single day too, being
Hmm.
involved in all this. But it's like, okay, we just covered the entire financial stack piece, and what was missing out of that is energy. Well, that's where Mad Energy comes in. So now, tell me, what am I missing? I
Media.
have a means to transact and
Media.
get money. Yeah, and now we got the energy piece, media,
Yep.
and now that's your three pillars. And everything stems from that. Everything stems from that. So for those of you who are close to Richard or could get in his ear, that guy needs to be buying up. Fuck the jewelry. Fuck
Yeah.
the
Fuck all that
Versace,
dumb shit.
Louis. That
He
shit
needs
is
to.
fucking trash.
Yeah.
Buy media.
I gotta be honest with you, Jay. I 100% agree. And when I saw that this guy bought Forbes or allocated capital to Forbes, and
Yeah,
this,
controlling interest.
I was like, what the fuck? But you know what? This is something you have to understand. The odds of RH being able to pull something like that off, where he can actually, allocate money to something like that. Because don't think that they don't look into your background. Of course, you have to be
Yeah,
part of the team. They're not just gonna let you on to the team and you're not part of the team, right? So that's important to
yeah,
understand.
yeah,
So RH, honestly, I don't think he can pull that off. I think the idea should be for him to stand up his own media thing or buy out some little internet shit with viewers or whatever. Just
there it is.
buy up a whole bunch of
Yeah,
internet independent journalists, whatever, right? Independent media fronts or whatever you want to call it, the Blaze, whatever. All these things that do side with us, put them in our corner, create partnerships with them, whatever have you, because we are the only crypto. Everything else is the replication of the legacy
yes.
system. Period.
Yes, yes.
Period.
So that was exactly what I meant when I said
Mm,
media. Is I've already actually witnessed somebody doing this at the local level where I'm at, and it was,
nice.
oh my god, it was hugely impactful. This guy does this, and he goes and starts giving money at the local level, and next thing you know, he's meeting with politicians, government officials, and they're telling him, hey, if you have, because where I stay, there's huge amounts of corruption.
Right.
But it's blatant in your face. It's not called lobbying. It's they pull you over and ask you for money, or they'll
Yeah,
break
yeah.
your tail light, or it's because I'm white. So you want to talk about racism? This
Right.
shit's in my fucking face every day. So
Every
it's
day.
it's a joke, dude. And so anyway, that's why it's laughable. But yeah, my point is that so this guy goes out, he starts to give out huge money at the local level, does his own video, gets huge amounts of PR, buys the news network, and now he's piped in with the
They got no
the
choice.
Hollywood with the
Hmm.
Hollywood people out here and with the government politicians. So RH could do the same shit, dude. Start buying up
Yup.
small little media networks and stack them on top of each other. He'll get a better deal. They'll
Mhm.
actually let him buy him out and get involved because they're not going to do a background check on him. They're not going to care.
Nope.
And he can start pumping out his own fucking narrative and
Correct.
advertising all of his products on top of that. So you want to talk about marketing effort, direct mail efforts? Well, there you go,
That's
dude.
direct. You can't get any more direct than that.
Yeah, dude. Put your banners on your own fucking media network.
Mhm.
There you go. Problem solved.
I'll be right back.
Sure. So either he does this or the community does this. And I think that this, even if you're not involved in this and you hate hacks and you're a Bitcoin maximalist, that's cool too. You should be doing the same shit. Don't get it twisted. Everything I just laid out, you should be doing the same thing. It's got to hit on some sort of truth for you. And you'd be doing the same thing. So buying out these assets, these pieces, putting them into play, getting involved in these ways, right? But anyways, that's the game, man. That is the end game. That is the big picture here. Because and the thing is what's fucked up about it is we have no choice, right? I remember seeing I think it was Die Hard 4 or Die Hard 5 when they shut down the energy grid and Bruce Willis is driving in the car with the kid. They're driving like a BMW or something. And he's like and he's telling Bruce Willis like, "Hey, you're that guy." And Bruce Willis was like, "Hey, you know what? I'd gladly stop and turn around, but like look behind us. There's nobody else." So, because there's nobody else, like it's got to be me.
Yeah, I remember that. Damn.
Yeah, dude.
Wow.
Like that stuck with me.
Yeah,
that stuck with me
too. I forgot about that shit. But you're right. Now that you mention it, I remember that because that was pretty. That was a seminal moment in the movie.
It was. It was like it was the realization that like you're the fucking guy for a couple different reasons. Is because you recognize that first off nobody's behind you, but also too that you can, so you should.
Yep.
Right.
And that's but hold on, because that's critical, right? It's like, yo, here's this random guy doing this random shit that has to be done. What's different about what's happening here now? Nothing,
man. And you know what? What's funny about it is like, it might have not started like this, you know, like especially in regards to Richard. Like he might have started out with selfish intentions. Maybe he was going to rug. Who knows what the fuck was going on through that guy's head? But I'll tell you what, his head's in the right place now because now he realizes that just like the rest of us, and that's what makes him a good person. Is he realizes like he's looking around. Well, fuck, ADA gonna be it? Cardano gonna do the job? XRP gonna do the job? ETH gonna do the job? No. And he gave them all a chance. Gave ETH a chance. He sat back and watched. And now he's saying like, no, dude, they're not the guys. I'm the fucking guy. Those guys all cashed out. Vitalik, look at the fucking weird shit that guy wears and what he's doing. He's a billionaire now. Great, cool, dude. Good for you. But like he's looking around and you got Cardano and he's out there building farms and dressing up in weird fucking outfits. And so it's like
has their own agenda, bro.
Right, he's not the guy. Yeah.
As long as it fits in with the ruler's narrative or with the controller's narrative, it's all good.
100%.
You know, they can do whatever they want as long as they play their part. They're free to do as they wish, and this is why I'm not the guy to kiss anybody's ass. I don't care what Vitalik's done. Look at the end result of what he's done. Yeah, thanks for giving us a smart contract. Appreciate you, bro. But that's where your value add ended. Period.
Yeah, so basically solidity, right? I think that was his biggest contribution. Yeah,
that's it. So fuck off after that.
That was it. Yeah, and that's just it.
Try harder.
And these are all just pillars. And then the next guy steps up and he picks up the ball and he runs with it. And so it's like, I don't know how other people can't see this because to me it's like so fucking obvious. Like,
well,
I don't know.
It's not.
I guess not.
I mean, just look at the nonsense that's going on now, right? You have people just buying in to what's being sold to them once again.
Yeah.
After being lied to strictly by the same motherfuckers for 2 years straight. You're going to just go on ahead and buy the first brand new lie they got to sell you? You got to do better than that, folks.
Look at this shit. This is hilarious. A pencil got more testosterone than Vitalik.
There you go.
Fucking A, dude.
Boom.
Oh my God, that is hilarious. Truth, man. Preach that shit.
Yep.
Yeah, but that's the game. That's the stack. That is the real stack. What we just laid out. Those are the pillars to fucking success for all of us. So, like, that's what I want you guys to get involved in and get excited about and however you see, whatever pieces you see fitting, just go and try and build this. Get a group of people together. And like, I don't care what crypto you get behind. I don't give a fuck what tools and assets you try to bring together. But like that is the play.
I mean, this is why me, Kinetics, and Gary are doing MCA, right? We're the people in the crypto space that can bridge that gap, respectively, right? So we're doing our part over here. What background skills and knowledge do you bring to the table that can allow you to do something that's going to bring major value to what we're trying to build here, which is a new world? Because that is the reality, right? I mean, this isn't just...
give us a pitch, real quick. Give us a pitch on MCA, Mountain Crypto Advisors with an E.com. If you guys want to check that out, give us a quick pitch. I don't think I've ever talked about it on this channel.
Sure, no, good. So Mountain Crypto Advisors is essentially a way for crypto wealthy people to bridge that gap, right? Between just being wealthy and being able to actually basically deploy your wealth right within the legacy space, because you can't just go somewhere and swipe your crypto card in most cases and just transact, right? Like you can't just transact with crypto in most places. Um,
Yeah.
and MCA gives people that are crypto wealthy the ability to not only be able to transact with their crypto, which is really a small piece, but it gives people the ability to set up their estate, their trusts, their just all their asset protection, all their security planning, all these things that a wealthy individual needs to set up. This is what MCA was built for. It was built to kind of give us crypto wealthy people the foundational infrastructure that we need for financial transactions, to be able to transact financially with whatever we want,
Yeah.
whether it's crypto or fiat, because the whole idea is that you only cash out what you need to cash out. That way you're actually using that little bit as the leverage needed to get yourself started on the fiat side, because the whole idea is that you only cash out what you need, and once that capital is deployed accordingly in the legacy side, that's going to generate income. It's going to generate returns. That's the whole point of it, right? And those returns are going to be deployed back to guess where? Crypto, Hex, Post
Yeah.
Chain, Post X, because those are the assets to buy, and that's the overarching strategy. Have people cash out a little bit, build their legacy side infrastructure with this crypto wealth that they have but can't really deploy efficiently, right? Build out these asset protection models, right? So that their crypto wealth is secure, right? Because nobody's taking your keys here. All you're doing is literally transferring ownership of assets from your name to the name of the entity which you now own. That's the big picture. What's happening at MCA, and we help you basically figure out what else you want to do, because there's so many things you can do now once you have that that infrastructure set up for yourself, right? Because just like companies have infrastructure, you as a wealthy individual with capital to deploy are going to need infrastructure as well. That's the whole point of having an entity structure, right? Your LLC, your trust, your
Yeah.
whatever entity you want to have to do whatever you want to do. Because you have to understand it's not just the crud. That's just a very small piece to this big puzzle that we call life, right? I mean, the main idea is that over time, we're just gonna basically funnel people into our network, because MCA is brand new. MCA is nothing.
Yeah.
So, what is the goal of MCA? Well, the goal of MCA is to stand up something that doesn't exist. Crypto industry basically doesn't exist because nobody that's done it, just like you were saying earlier, nobody's cared to do anything this whole
Yeah.
time. And just like in Die Hard 5, where Bruce Willis was there
Yeah.
looking back, and the kid's like, yo, we gotta go. He looked back like, do you see anybody back there?
Yeah.
It's just us, kid. It's
Yeah.
just us. So that's what we got to do. That's what we're here. So when you hear people like me, Kinetics, whoever the fuck, you, anybody, the Joker, whoever on stream, because we all say the same damn thing, saying, do whatever you do to add value. Do it. Doesn't
Hmm.
matter if it's making memes, man. It don't got to be on stream. It don't even got to be a business idea. It's literally whatever. And that's the crazy thing. It's hard for people to wrap their head around that, but that's so real, because guess what? Everybody connects with somebody in their own way.
Oh, 100%. 100%. Yeah.
And that's why that's the strategy, right?
Yeah.
It's not hard. It's that simple. You just make it harder than it needs to be because you think it has to be some whole thing, and it's not. It's literally just that. Just be yourself.
Yeah.
People are gonna flock to you, but I didn't think anybody was gonna flock to me, and here we are.
Yeah. No shit. Right.
Yeah, because I'm a
I
trick.
didn't stream. I didn't stream for like 2 years, man,
Yeah,
because
well, there you go.
I just didn't think I had value, and then I started kind of poking my head up again, and then yeah,
Here we
here we
are.
are.
Yeah.
Let's rewind for a second because you said a lot of really good shit there about traditional finance vehicles. Like one of the first things that you kind of start to try and figure out when you make money is you start to figure out the wildness of trusts, IRAs, entity structuring, the best entity structuring how to mitigate or alleviate on taxes, right? We'll say that nicely,
Tax
or
planning is
AKA,
how we say it.
yeah, or just try and hide completely. I mean, it just
Hmm.
depends on what you're trying
What
to
your
do.
goal
But like,
is, yeah.
yeah, but like that is such a rabbit hole, man. Like the
It
ultimate
is.
banking structure,
You know what's
entity
funny, Jay?
structuring.
Our
Holy
entry
shit.
our entry into learning about these things were similar. Once I realized how much taxes I would have to pay, now hear me out. Hear me out.
Yeah, drop it.
Once I realized how much taxes I would have to pay once I became rich, because I wasn't rich yet, I had no money. That's when I started really digging into what the fuck was going on financially. This is what really like tied me into becoming this fucking like macro geek, because you don't just learn taxes and that's the end of it. That's the start of it. Taxes is just the start of this whole spider web that we basically have to
Yeah,
interact with on a
yeah,
day-to-day basis in our financial systems worldwide.
that's a good
Worldwide.
point.
Yeah.
That's a good point.
So that just like you started going down that rabbit hole that I started pulling the string on a while back also led me into understanding all of these other things that the average person just doesn't have the desire to understand. But that's because they don't really have the desire to succeed in most cases, whether they realize it or not. You
Yeah, and it's like you have all kinds of stuff pop up, right? Like people's
know.
insecurities, their
Yeah.
hangups, right? Their self sabotage, and it presents itself in a plethora of ways in your life. But like the avoidance of trying to properly structure things is another way that you shoot yourself in the foot, and you make it so that you can't possibly succeed. Figuring out how to allocate. These are all ways that you do that. And yeah, I'm all for like the collective effort of that, or going to somebody that can help you do it. It's kind of funny. Like I didn't actually say this, but I remember when you guys like a week ago, you guys were like catching some heat from some less than educated people. Like, let me fill you guys in on something. I paid $10,000 to Anderson Advisors to set up fucking LLCs for me, dude. To set up LLC structures and C corp S corp structures to act as a mail forwarding address and like all these other services. I pay like $300-400 a year just in mail forwarding services. So I mean, like, it's hard to put these things into perspective if you've never gone through them. But I can tell you, going through some of this stuff, like, even 10 grand, I thought was cheap, right? And I know of thousands of people who have gone and done similar or spent even more than me to get these things set up. Estate planning, the IRA side of it, right? Like, this is tens of thousands of dollars to set all this shit up, and a huge headache and a huge learning curve, because if you fuck it up, then you get audited and you end up wasting all that money to pay for fucking now tax attorneys.
Yes.
Like, I don't know how simpler I got to make it, and this all comes back to what we're talking about, though, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Because like this sovereignty network helps solve a lot of those pieces. Like, look, even in here, when I put this, look, here it is right here, Anderson Business Advisors. I put them in there too under asset protection because they're who I used. And yeah, and we like not to shoot them down, but like we fucked up on some stuff too, man. Like the structuring of that, and like then we had to dissolve companies, which was like fucking $5,000.
Damn.
Like guys, come on, man. This stuff is not meant to be cheap. That's the point.
No, it's not.
And that's where I'll leave it. So now you start to stack all this, right? And you by yourself, like, here's what's interesting about this. You by yourself, you start to stack all this: the job, the stress of the job, your family, your kids, your dog, your cat, your house, maintenance, cutting the grass, your cars, maintenance, gassing them up, your assets, maintenance, gassing, fueling, cleaning, protecting, right? All those things take so much bandwidth. Then we got news, and news is just like this monumental rock that just gets fucking dropped on your shoulders. And so you've got all that stacked against you. And now you have to be able to navigate every single day and be aware of your own bullshit, your own hangups, your own, like, how you're fucking up and doing good, and you're trying to build confidence and belief and self-esteem. And all of this is happening all at once. It's no wonder people are so fucking broken right now. Like, there is no crisis going on right now outside of a mental health crisis. And I've been preaching this for a very long time. What we see in front of you right now from everything from the gender breakdown bullshit to the fucking I'm going to wear a mask for the rest of my life has nothing to do with anything outside of mental illness. There's a lot of people that are hurting inside, and they need some means and someone to fucking talk to get back on track. That's it. That's it. Most of the issues would just be solved with that and that alone. So that's the importance of a network. Like, you have to be able to come together with people because we're all filling each other's gaps. And I don't know, man. Like, this is why I got into crypto. And yeah, I have it on screen. Like, he was one of the main driving forces to like help me come back out of the woods and like start talking again and streaming. But it's like, because the other thing I saw is just like the crypto space as a whole is fragmented. And this channel is called Crypto Junkies. And I got involved in this because like I wanted to be a part of something different. I wanted to opt out of the old system, the old structure. I was sick of that. I wanted something new and something different. And I thought that's why we all got involved, right? Cyberpunkish, whatever you want to call it, right? Brunting up against the man, the system, Big Brother, whatever. But like the shit you see now, looking around in the crypto space, that is not crypto.
No.
What crypto is right now is fucking bullshit. It's the same thing that you all thought you were leaving, but now they've dialed it up and they put lipstick on a pig because they've basically transformed this thing. They've terraformed the whole the whole structure of crypto, and they basically just come over here and done a fugazi on you. And it's the same banking structure. It's the same Big Brother system.
Same players, same structure, same protocol, same everything. I mean, how the hell are we talking about AML, KYC, and crypto? That's not the purpose of
exactly. It. How are you passing legislation right now in crypto? I don't want that.
I mean, the interesting thing is that they can pass whatever they want, but it doesn't matter, and people just don't realize that it's irrelevant. Like, for example, I sent a tweet out jokingly as Cointelegraph, which is basically their mouthpiece for the deep state on the crypto front. They let us know that this year the IRS will put the question as a yes or no question as to whether you own crypto or not. And I immediately quipped, many will tell on themselves because they don't understand the purpose of crypto. And somebody replies to me, so you're telling people to put no? Like, I don't need to tell nobody nothing. That's the fucking point, moron.
Yeah.
You do whatever you want. If you think snitching on yourself on something they cannot confirm or deny that you own or don't own, then you go on ahead, do what you got to do.
Yeah, or there's this whole other space of existence, which is to just step outside of the entire model itself as a sovereign individual. And that's what we're talking about. That's what needs to be built. Because it's like this. Okay, here's a good example. You're trying to change your life, right? And you've got positive thinking, negative thinking. So the layer one that you start to learn about is like, oh man, I need to monitor my thoughts and change my thoughts. So you start thinking like, oh, I need to inject positive thinking all the time. So you start to try and catch yourself every time you're saying something like bad about yourself or you're downplaying yourself. And it turns into this fight of you trying to like pump yourself up with these positive affirmations because you're told that that's the answer, that's the solution. Well, actually, the solution is to step outside of the entire model and to look back at it, point and laugh.
Yep.
The entire structure of like, no, it's positive thoughts, negative thoughts. No, we need to do this and positive affirmation. No. Step outside the whole thing and recognize that none of that matters. It's the same thing here. And I know it's like deep, right? We could probably take a long time to unpack that, but it's the same game here. It's like you're just stepping outside. What I'm asking you to do is step outside the entire structure and then look back at the structure and see it, right? But then you obviously get to, for yourself, decide if you want to even be involved in that structure at all. I say no. I say don't get involved in that structure. Don't dox yourself. Don't fucking, don't put your name on that list. Don't check that box. Don't do any of that shit. That's what I'm saying. Because first off, they don't know, and it's none of their fucking business. And secondly, like if you're like a true crypto person, do we want to even say that? Like if you're a true OG, right? Yeah. I don't know. I guess like you wouldn't be saying that shit. And it's funny, like as I've seen these crypto kids and these traders like make all this money, they changed, they flipped on a dime, didn't they? 2016, 2017 is fuck government, yeah, fuck taxes, 2021 is like, yeah, I just took out 200K to my Coinbase account. I'm gonna pay taxes. Bought a mansion in fucking Florida, and
Ain't that
yeah,
shit
man,
funny?
just pay your dues, guys.
Ain't that shit funny?
Pay your fair share.
Mm-hmm.
Come on, dude.
But hey, it's all right. That's why you got real ones in this real crypto doing real things to stand up to real problems that actually exist and that are looking to make actual viable solutions that are going to help us actually take care of our business. Because guess what? Nobody's going to do it for you. Period. Nobody. So unless you're capable of standing up something that's self-funding and self-operating, you know, just sit the fuck down and
Yeah.
let those that can do it and figure out what it is that you can do to add value, because there is no competition here. People just want their fucking lives. People want their time. People want to live. People
Yeah,
don't want to be under constant fear. That's bullshit.
I think that's the big thing, dude. Is like for me, I know this is true for me. I just want to be left the fuck alone, man.
That's right. Same here.
But like I operate out of my own set of morals and values, and I think most good people do. Notice I said good people, not nice. Nice is weakness. Good is good.
Correct.
There's a big difference between the two. Being nice is being weak. Being
100%.
good means that you're operating out of a system of morals and values. You do right by your neighbor. You do right by yourself. Right? You operate it that way. So yeah, like being that and striving to just be a good person is like 90% of the battle. But I would say most good people just want to be left alone because they know that they don't need to be policed. They don't need outside people to tell them how to live. They're smart enough to make their own decisions, and that's it. They want the government to be involved in the least amount in their life, right? And I think that's a fair way to look at things. Like, be involved in the ways that you should be involved and don't overstretch. Just like we talk about centralization and decentralization. There's a place for both. There's a place for government. There's a place for those entity structures to exist. And there's other systems and pieces of our lives that should not have those and they should just stay the fuck out, right? And what we see happening is a bigger push, right, towards more and more overreach. And that's the big.
I mean,
yes.
it's not even just overreach, Jay. It's literally strictly control over every aspect of people's livelihoods and thought processes. It's a little more than overreach at this point. When you're told that you cannot think, that you cannot do, that you cannot this, that, and the third. I mean, look, I wanted to say this earlier, but for those of you that are too new to understand what the hell is going on in this world, especially those of you that think that everything should be free, nothing should be free, period. So stop thinking that shit should be free, because guess what? Your dumb ass paid for Hex. Hex wasn't free. Your dumb ass is paying for Pulse, right? That shit ain't fucking free. Ain't nothing fucking free that's worth something. You're giving up something in exchange for something else. So if you don't understand how the world works and you're out here calling for shit to be free, just sell your fucking crypto and get the fuck out of here, because you're just adding to the problem. You're not coming here to solve any fucking issues. You're just a schmuck that's in the way and is not adding any value whatsoever. So you're just a fucking problem. So you're either going to get shitted on and going to get your feelings hurt anyway, which is probably happening right now, or you're going to fucking educate yourself and step your game up, which is what we can hope for. Because at the end of the day, given how our society is structured, we have to use transfer of value in order to get things done. So unless you have some magic motherfucking pill or fucking time machine that can get us to a point in time where money does not fucking matter, just shut the fuck up and let the professionals handle it. Period.
End of story.
Yeah, that's where we're at.
Yeah, and that's I mean to kind of expand on that, is that's like the biggest issue with DAOs is like point out a single successful DAO that's good at managing a project, managing marketing, and growing community. There's not a single one. And it's because the issue is that, like, you know, even though people have really, really good intentions and they want to get involved in stuff that they like and they want to work, you know,
somebody has to be accountable.
Yes.
Period.
So things don't move that fast. You still have inner office politics that happen the same way. Effort's really low because it's like free.
What's
but
the motivation?
I got bills to pay, so I'm going to go do this thing that pays me money first, and then I'm going to deal with free later. Like, I don't know. It's just how we all work now. It's embedded in us. So like you're talking about trying to break one of the biggest social constructs and
Ever.
yeah, social pieces that we have as humans. You're talking about like trying to break that just because like I don't know, you want that or you want a good deal or you think you deserve that in some sort of way. I don't know.
Right.
I just unless and I'm open to hearing like a different way for this to all work, but clearly it started as a barter system. We started with trade beads. We started with all these different ways of exchanging value, and we found ourselves where we're at. But there's always been an exchange of value. There's never been free. There's
Nothing
always
for
been like,
something. Yeah, something
here's
for
some
nothing has
beads.
never existed. So people need to
Yeah,
really let that bullshit go.
I don't know where that comes from. That's a weird one. That's like
Mm,
entitlement at the highest level, I think.
yeah, period. Just get the
And
fuck
it's
out of here.
really like it's like socialistic,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
And I hate those words
Exactly
because those
that.
have all been worn out, dude. Socialism, dictatorship, like that's just been worn out, dude. But
Well,
yeah, it's
what do
kind of
you
like that.
call a person that wants something for nothing?
Well, they want you to work for nothing, but that
Right.
doesn't mean they.
They
So
get to
like,
work for anything. Right.
yeah, go be the beacon then. I want to see
Right.
you working for free, and then maybe it'll inspire me to do some shit for you for free. But like until I see it, I don't know because like I said, we've been operating this way for fucking thousands of years. So I think we're
Exactly.
pretty good. I
I mean,
think we're pretty good on that front.
beads, tree branches, shells, whatever the fuck, right? Like, and people
Yeah,
still, you
tea
still got
leaves.
morons thinking that shit's just supposed to be given to them. Just shut the
Yeah,
fuck
I
up.
see. I see. We got people arguing in the fucking chat about percentages and shit. Guys, just give it a break. Yeah. So that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about creating this stack,
Yeah.
and you can get involved or as not involved as you want. But this is what I'm excited about, man. This is what I wake up early for. This is what I lose sleep over. Is thinking about this and this play and this entire ecosystem, man. This is how you like. I just talked about exiting the system, which was
Right.
what crypto was supposed to represent. Remember, this is what we
That's
were
right.
all sold: exiting the system. Okay, or here it is.
Where's the exit? Nobody's given enough of a fuck to make it. Here it is, and people
No.
are bitching about it. I mean, you can only laugh at the highest levels of stupidity. And that's what we're seeing right now. I mean, people have
Yeah,
been waiting for this, and here it is. Oh, it's too expensive. Well, bitch, well, what the fuck you want it to be? You want it to just be free and for shit to just happen magically because you desire it to be that way. Well,
yeah.
I'm sorry, that's just not how it goes.
Yeah, and again, like we can't focus on that. We got to focus on the big picture, which is
That's
why
right.
it's never worthy to get too involved in those conversations because unfortunately there are like sophistication levels, right? Like even in
That's right.
marketing, in marketing, one of the first things I learned was market sophistication. So you can look it up. There's 4 levels to market sophistication, but there's we're all playing at a different level in the game, right? Some and whether that's based on reincarnation or intelligence levels or what, who knows? Who cares? But it's obvious that across the planet, people are all playing at different levels of the game. And so, yeah, and this is the level that I'm playing at, and I want to be involved in. So, yeah, I totally understand if people literally don't get what we're talking about, or they can't see this and can't understand it. I get it. But yeah, some of us do, and this is what I'm focused on. I'm not focused on trying to explain shit to you. I'm focused on fucking building this shit, and
Yeah,
that's
well, I
it.
mean, it'd be different if there could be, a conversation had. But the problem is that people just think that they know. And you can't pretend to know because you don't know. This is the whole point of community. This is the whole point of us coming together and adding value in our respective ways. That's the whole point, literally. So if your idea is nothing financial, well, then you shouldn't really be commenting on the shit. Let the professionals handle
Yeah,
their business. It's just asinine, right? It's like if you're an engineer, uh, whatever, I'm not gonna comment on that thing because guess what? I'm not. So pretty straightforward.
yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
it's kind of
exactly.
crazy. It's kind of crazy, right? It's like a clown commenting on what a clown just did. How can you? You don't even practice in that arena. What was
You
wrong
don't
with
even
you?
practice clownery, and you're
Right.
commenting in clownery to expert clowns, and it,
Exactly.
like hoping they don't call you out. Like,
Right.
did it work? Did it work? Am I busted?
Yo, it's just funny, man. It's just funny. But again,
Yeah,
the whole
I
purpose
know.
of this is, like you said, Jay, finding the verticals, creating our own verticals, integrating them, making them self-operational. Because we have to be honest. none of these businesses are gonna surpass what crypto is gonna do for our pockets. It's just not possible.
Yeah.
So if you don't understand that, then yeah, you're gonna think people are gonna try to scam you or do whatever ridiculousness is coming across your mind. But the reality is that crypto is the ticket out. These vertical integrations are what's gonna allow crypto to flourish and be our ticket out for real, right? So if you can't have the medium to educate people on the right things for this new industry, for this new revolution, whatever you want to call it, then it's all for naught at the end of the day. Important people understand
Yeah. I was gonna say something, but it just slipped my mind.
that.
I'm starting to get tired.
All good.
Yeah. This is what matters, man. And what I was gonna say is like, just think of this. Think of after all this is built, right? Think of how exciting this is gonna be, right? We can all look back and see that the fucking financial stack, that pillar's done, the media pillar's done, all of this is done across the boards. There's still gonna be a ton of people who will see that and they'll be like, God, I love what you guys have done, and they'll go cash out the Coinbase.
Yep.
They'll still go cash out the Coinbase, and that's okay. That's okay. It's all good, man. So yeah, we're building it for everybody. Everybody who wants to get involved at that level, all the way to the end, to the end and most extreme level. And I know that that's exactly what Richard's doing, and that's what some other people in crypto are doing. But what's going to be kind of cool is like there's going to be this convergence. It's got to happen at some point. The convergence is going to be more people find each other, like at the Richard level, and they're all just going to come together and start launching these products together, so it'll be faster. And it'll, like, you want to talk about taking a quantum leap, terraforming, right? It's going to be so fucking magical to watch, because it's really just a matter of time before that outcome happens. Because there's been too many solo guys running now that are out there, and there's probably a ton that we don't even know about that are maybe under the radar. Maybe it's a crypto coin project that is small still or micro cap or something, right? There are more than one of those guys out there right now. And what's going to be cool to see is when they start to find each other, because we all found each other and we're playing our role down here. And then all those guys at the, let's call it, I wouldn't say at the top, but at that level, they're all going to find each other too. Because you've yet to see that. You've yet to see any collaboration happening at the coin level, right? Think about it.
Not at all.
And I think there's space, like if I'm going to speculate here for a second, I think there's a huge space for Roger Ver to get involved, because he seems like a good dude. I think there's room for a Jess Powell to get involved. Like if all those guys, those three guys were to come together, Richard, Roger, Jess were to come together and do something, oh my God, dude. Think of how fucking magical that would be. Yeah. Or maybe it's even more than that, right? But I'm telling you now, there's a lot of people that, they got involved in crypto and they got rich from the top down, dude. Most people, I would say 90% of people, and that's why the space has changed, is because we all were like running behind them, putting our faith in them. Like, yeah, man, we're in the fight, right? We're in it together. And then they just all stopped. And then,
psych.
Like, yeah, they went off to the sideline again. And they sat at the bench. And now they're just watching us run around the field like assholes. Mm-hmm. And they're laughing because they're like, guys, I'm done. I'm not even playing anymore. You don't even know.
Yeah, they're paid.
Charlie Lee, he's the prime example of this. Dumped on everyone's head in Litecoin. Walked away. Prime example. So he's like, freedom, yeah, man, fuck the government, $1 billion. Hey guys, see ya, I'm out, see ya. He hid too. He stopped posting on Twitter. My fucking camera. But I'm trying to get animated and do a little skit.
Goes out of focus and shit.
So he did that. Think about that. And Vitalik, I think if he even makes it to ETH 2.0, I think he'll be gone after that. It seems like this new chick that's part of that. I don't think
there's ever gonna be an ETH 2.0, bro. Period.
I know, might not.
I don't think so.
But yeah, I mean, think about that for a second. So we've now, like I just laid it out. That's the deal. We all thought we were in this race together. We're on the front lines of something special. But all those guys fucking bailed. And you're still lying to yourself, thinking that you're in the game, thinking that you're in the fight. You're not. We're running around like this. And they're watching us laughing because we're fucking exhausted. We're skinny. We've lost all of our muscle because we're running around. Our tail. But now, because we've been running for so long, somebody says something that offends me and boom, we start infighting. And the whole thing is just gone. Dog shit. Look around, dude. What do you think has been fucking happening? That's where we're at. That's where we're at in the cycle. is that like people are just now starting to figure out we're still running on the field and everyone else stopped. That's the part of the cycle we're at right now. Make sense? Does that resonate with people?
It's a good way of putting it.
Yeah, try and come up with new analogies, frame it differently.
Yeah, it works, bro. Because it's sad, but it's true. Um, well, everybody wants what they want, right? And the funny thing is that they can't get it if people like us don't get what we want. But they're so hell bent on being selfish about what they want that they can't look at the bigger picture and understand that reality. Because people like me want people like you to do whatever the fuck you want, but you can't do whatever the fuck you want until you want what people like me want, which is the ability for the basic human rights to be followed. Because we don't even got that. We got it,
Yeah,
so
fuck, dude.
so here's a good analogy. Here's a great analogy, actually. You got true crypto, Hex, right? Now, that's what exists now. What actually happened? Well, what actually happened in the real world is the same thing that happened to Bitcoin. The Constitution or whatever story we're told is Bitcoin and all the fucking federal crap that was layered over it ever since is exactly what we've seen ever since Bitcoin came out to now. So you have a watered down thing that is not what it started out as. And that's the same thing that you have with America. That's the same thing you have with many countries around the world, which at one point had magically found their independence, but somehow lost it along the way because they're no longer independent about anything. They're subject to some political fucking beck and call by some damn technocrat that you don't even know exists. And all this shit is connected. This is why what people like me want matters more than what people like you want, because you can't get shit if I don't get what I want. And that's just a reality. You have to realize that. That's why your shit always fails. You can't ever achieve your goal because the system is designed to fuck you. It's designed to not let you get what you want. Literally. This is exactly why you have zero hedges. This is why you have crypto. So Zero Hedge was born, I think, January 2009.
Yeah, right
And
around there.
yeah, and coincidentally, that's right after the birth of what else? Bitcoin. Oh, that can't be a coincidence, and it's not.
Mm-hmm.
All these
Yeah,
things that I'm tired of repeating, you're like, they are primordial. You ain't getting shit done without them, period. I don't give a fuck what you think, what you like, what you think about me. It's just irrelevant. Those are just the facts.
100%, 100%. So just trying to keep up on. We got planned sanctions now from the UK.
Oh, you
Like
know
I
it's gonna
said,
be a
it's
party,
the
man.
yeah, it's the UN NATO shuffle. That's
Yeah,
that's.
it's a bunch of bullshit. It's a bunch
Look
of
at look at
bullshit.
this one. This one's one of my favorites for sure. She's one of my favorites, dude. The theatrics of a lot of these people, man. It's just
You
fucking
know,
next level.
just
Professional actors.
just to talk about Russia, because you talked about it earlier before I got on. So this is what's going on. For those of you that don't know how the system works, I've been to war multiple times. I know exactly how the fuck the system works. So this is not an opinion. Let me
Yeah, like
inform
you've
you.
been deployed. You've been
That's right.
deployed. You know exactly on boots on the ground how this shit goes down, how you land, how it starts, the initial infrastructure, all that shit.
That's right. So this is how it goes. They started talking about Ukraine in January. They started teeing this up in January, and I pointed it out numerous times along the way. Whether you paid attention or not, I don't know, but I pointed it out. We've discussed this shit before. Because guess what? I told y'all Rona was ending. It's gone, long gone. And guess what? They had to find something else to get your attention with. And so far, so good, because you think there's actually a war going on in Ukraine. But what you don't know, because you don't fucking read, is the following: Ukraine, the eastern part, which is the part that is supposedly being fought over, which is not what you're being told or being shown or all these other things. Um, that area is actually Russian. It actually belongs to Russia, believe it or not. So you have Eastern Ukraine, you have Western Ukraine. Do you know what you're reading about? Do you know what you're being informed on? Do you know the difference? Odds are you fucking don't. odds are that everything you know is what you're reading on Twitter and what's being reported by all these tools of the system. Because guess what? You're getting your information from middlemen. You presume I do the same. You might not understand that what I'm doing is connecting dots and making my own assumptions. And I just happen to be right because I know exactly what the fuck how shit works.
Know where to look. You know where to look. Yeah.
Yeah, well, it's not even knowing where to look. It's understanding what's actually happening and realizing that headlines are just head fakes.
Hmm.
Right? I mean, I've been talking about Ukraine headlines since January. No surprise that we're here in February. No surprise. I mean, what else can you expect from people that are trying to stay where they shouldn't be after lying to people for 2 years?
100%.
You
Hundred
can't
percent. You
believe this shit is real. You got to be a moron to believe this shit is real.
well, you got to question it too. Like even the footage that you're seeing. Where
100%.
is that? Where's that
Well,
footage from?
we saw all this fake footage from China and all these other places where all these people were
Yeah.
supposedly dying. Magically, all that shit was a lie now. We're going to just forget that, or we're going to just ignore that because now the spotlight is on this fake war because all this information is coming out and nobody's
Hmm.
looking over there. Oh, I wonder what this war is really about. Oh, well, that's what it's about. I just told you. You're welcome.
Yeah. Yeah. 100%. And how many times have MSN been caught reusing footage and naming it something different, like the
All the
footage of like
time.
bodies
All
and
the
hospital
time,
scenes,
bro. All the
and then
time. Look,
there's the behind the scenes stuff shot of that one in Italy where it was completely
yeah,
staged.
yeah.
So
When I was deployed to Iraq, I had no idea what the news actually did. It's one thing to suspect. Yes, actually. Well, yes, because that's
yeah, that
exactly
was
that's the point,
that. I think
right?
that's part of it. Yeah.
Because how long has Ukraine been ongoing? It's been ongoing since 2013, ever since Snowden dropped. Ukraine has
Yeah.
been a thing. Snowden, Ukraine, or let me rephrase, Libya, Snowden, Ukraine. Chronologically, that's the order. Not a coincidence because the setup was to have everybody's favorite girl tee it up after 8 years of everybody's favorite homeboy in office. And it
Yeah.
was just supposed to be continued systematic destruction. You already had Iraq, Afghanistan taken care of. You already had Libya, Syria taken care of. Well, no, not really Syria taken care of. They really haven't been able to finish Syria off, unfortunately for them. And this is what Ukraine actually is a function of, believe it or not. How do I know? Well, look at a map. Look at the gas contracts. Look at the cost of gas. Look at the cost of petroleum. All these things matter because these countries are producers of these natural resources. So, as always, it's never about sovereignty, it's never about freedom. It's always about what the cover up is. Stop believing
Yes.
what you're sold.
Yes. Yes. Another thing that just hit me that I haven't covered yet is Ukraine was in every single drop. The Panama Papers, the Pandora Papers, the credit Swiss
Always.
papers that just dropped. Ukraine is always in there. They always got like one or two oligarchs in there every fucking time. Hundreds of millions of dollars moved around, stashed, hidden off the books. So it's like people don't realize that that's for the longest time Ukraine has been used as a vehicle for this group of people to do as they please with money, with their dirty laundry, etc. So like a lot of this has to do with cleanup now because Hunter's
100%.
laptop got leaked and
Hmm.
all this heat and connection
This
is
is
on the
all
table
cleanup
now.
work. This is
Just
all
cleanup.
cleanup work. So
Yeah.
you don't know what you're watching. You're watching either of the following: either a movie set or previous old footage from something you just ain't never seen before, which they do all the time, or they are showing you a bunch of fake pictures, or they're enacting it right now, literally real time, or they're really just fucking up some area that you don't know exists because they got ammo to burn, they got money to burn, they got to justify these budgets year over year. All these things are tied together. None of this stuff is separated, right? Like when I was out there deployed, they found reasons to use stuff like giving glasses, stealing glasses, whatever. I mean, the dumbest things. I'm talking about shades here. I mean, I'm talking about shades while we're deployed at war.
Hmm.
Not even weaponry, not even ammunition. So imagine what the big dogs do with stuff like that. Because fraud, waste, and abuse is the motto. It is not the goal to minimize it. It is the goal to enhance its their ability to invoke it. Because look at the black budgets. Oh wait, you can't. And that's the whole point, right? There should be nothing that you can't see. But here's the big picture. Everything that we dabble with and come across as a problem in this world is a function of one thing. And this is one thing that nobody's really a specialist in because you can't be. And the reason for that is because the rules change as they see fit. Now, what is that thing? That thing is money movement. This is why institutions in the US need money transmitter licenses, for example. There are just some jurisdictions that don't want money movement to be a thing. And this is why you have safe havens or tax havens, whatever you want to call them, and all these other things. This is why you have all these laws that are a breach of your fundamental rights, right? All these things that exist are because of the desire of those in control or wanting to be in control to limit your ability to move funds and extract wealth and become wealthy yourself. That's the whole point of the system, period. So until
Yeah,
we can control that, none of us win, period.
correct. And it's a tough pill to swallow, man. Depending on where you're at with your understanding and your
Yeah.
journey for yourself, it's a tough pill to swallow. It really is. And that's why, like, that's why this is the focus now. This entire network, these
Has to be.
pillars.
Yeah, it has to be.
Yeah,
What else do we got to do? It's either slavery or this. And
yeah, and
I
it
don't think many
goes.
people understand that.
Yeah, and it kind of goes back to like where like thoughts and actions, right? Thoughts and actions. What are the things that I can control? Focus on what I can control. I talk about this a lot, right? Because I think this is really valuable information. Is there's two things I can control: my thoughts and my actions. Yes, and so it's like, what else are we supposed to do? Because I see a lot of people sitting around complaining. I see a lot of people drumming up old shit from their past, and taking out their dirty laundry on each other on social media. That's really all it's turned into. Is just a means for people to yell at each other and try to hurt each other with words. And so we could go that route, but everyone else is doing that. That'd be too easy. That's what they want. That's the easy way out, is to just start throwing mud at each other. Instead, it's much harder to sit with that and to think about, well, what would actually solve this? What would be a solution? Now, I'm not saying this is the best solution. I have no idea. But I'll tell you what, it sounds fucking good to me so far. And so, yeah, I mean, that's what I'm in on. That's what I want to do.
I mean, some solution is better than no solution, and I think that that's the whole point you're trying to make, right? And
Yeah, the
there's,
movement is the most important piece. The
hmm
momentum. You'll figure out the details as you move, but we all know that it's the first steps. It's the actual movement itself that's required, the momentum, in order to get that thing rolling. And yeah, as you're moving, you can start to pivot, and changes to this whole concept can occur, obviously. But I mean, I
100%.
think we're off to a great fucking start with all the tools that are already out there, right?
Yeah, I mean, I think that the hope is, at least on my mind, the hope is that we can bring as many people as possible along for the ride with the understanding that Hex is the ticket. Nobody setting up any, I guess, entity to, um, you know, set up any entity as a business is really going to win any game. Like, nobody's winning. The real win is allocating capital to Hex. That's the win. So it's important people remember that as all these other businesses pop up. It's one thing for another crypto thing to pop up. It's another thing for something like MCA or whatever else people are doing out there to pop up, which is on the legacy side. So you got to really understand, like, hey, what is the purpose of this endeavor? What are these guys thinking? Is there any way I can help? Is this even sensible? Because it could not be, right? Like, these are all things that we as a community should be coming together to tackle, not fighting about. Because how the fuck are we gonna get anywhere? We're going nowhere fast if we go that route.
Yeah, agreed. And clearly, like the path that crypto was going is going without, like, if we were to just remove ourselves from the equation right now, like it's there by the end of the year. Fuck, dude, they'll move it out so quick. CBDC, everyone's doxed, fully integrated with the tax system, and there you go, it's done. So then, what was the point of crypto? None. At that point, there's like, it's just it's the same thing again. The same fucking thing. So it's like, cool, just remove all of us. Like, you're still on the same fate. You're still on the same trajectory, which is that, but it's going to be worse then, because they've now made the changes to accredited investors, and they're going to roll that piece into this as well. You're going to have caps on how much you can move, how much you can exchange, how much you can trade. You know that's coming. The ins and outs, like I said, and yeah, they'll just make it really, really difficult, like they've been doing, right?
Yeah, and I'm seeing some interesting comments in the chat about why play a game that's intrinsically corrupt.
I didn't actually know what that was in reference to, though, so I didn't grab that one.
Yeah, well, I'm just going to assume is in reference to what we're doing,
Oh,
because that's exactly what this is, because it's not our system. It's not ours. But guess what? If you want anything to ever change, you sure as hell aren't going to find any change by trying to avoid the system, which is designed to engulf every fucking thing. Period. You're attacked via your water. You're attacked via your entertainment. You're attacked via your what? Readable, consumable material, right? Magazines, books, newspapers, periodicals, whatever the fuck you want to call it. No matter where you look on this planet, your ass is targeted and attacked, and you don't even know it. Because if you think you can escape the system by not engaging it directly, then you A, have no idea what you're talking about and do more research, and B, have never been to war because you don't know how the fuck the wind won.
Well, I would just add that avoiding doesn't actually solve problems.
Period.
Clearly, name me one way that avoiding, like, does avoiding our emotional problems solve the emotional problems? No. Does avoiding our money problems solve our problems?
No problem is solved by avoiding it. Period.
Yeah,
and that's the fucking problem. People think that they can just ignore the system and it'll all go away. That's why people don't look at what's going on and just watch the news and turn it off and be like, damn, I'm glad that shit ain't got nothing to do with me. Mm-hmm. That's the extent of people's analysis to current events. And it's disgusting. We got to do better. Because guess what? Go ahead, brother.
I was just going to say, I think we can do better.
100%.
Yeah. That doesn't bother me that much if people want to opt out like that. They'll have to come around at some point.
But
so
here's the
I guess
thing.
I'm kind of neutral,
but that's exactly.
that.
But here's the thing. You can't be indifferent or neutral, because if something happens in this world that isn't right and it's written on paper, hey, it ain't supposed to be like this, and we said it wasn't supposed to be like this 120,000 fucking years ago, so why is it happening 120,000 years ago? Like, that's the problem. People think that they can just let shit slide. And where I'm from, no such thing is possible. Like, no sliding happens here. This is not a fucking skating rink where I'm from. And this is my biggest problem with the world. Yeah, yo, it's funny. But guess what? That's why I'm alive still. Because otherwise,
the skating rink thing was funny.
Yeah, well, it's true. You know, and it's a great analogy, because guess what? You can't skate around reality. That's why everybody's life sucks. Keep trying to skate by the motherfucker. See how that works for you. You have no rights. You have no freedom. You're told to put a face diaper on your face. You're told to fucking alter your DNA, whether you want to or not. You're told to eat all this fake food. You're told you can't travel here. You can't see your parents there. You can't go to Christmas. You can't go to Thanksgiving. Are you fucking out your mind thinking you can avoid anything? Wake the fuck up. Sometimes it's the wokest motherfuckers that annoy me the most, because you motherfuckers think you got some shit figured out, but you ain't got shit figured out. If your ass did, your ass wouldn't be on fucking YouTube or Twitter in the first fucking place. Because guess what? You're fucking trackable through that shit too. Because guess what? Your electronic device has a fucking MAC address. Look that
up. Going back to what I was saying is, I'm just indifferent towards what if other people want to opt out. I'm just indifferent towards that. I don't really.
But you cannot opt out. That's the whole point.
Yeah. Oh, I know that. Yeah, I know that.
So, like, I don't give a fuck if you want to opt out or not. Yeah, it's irrelevant. You have to opt in, Because whether
Yeah.
you're young or old, you have no choice. One day you're gonna die, and the system is gonna rinse your ass.
Yeah. So the reason why I guess I'm indifferent towards that and accepting towards where those people are at, because I can't remember the exact structure of it, but there was something I heard at some point along the journey that I really liked, which are that there's what is it? There's sheep, there's wolves, and then there's sheepdogs or some
Hmm.
shit.
Hmm.
And everyone plays a different role in society, and
Yeah, yeah.
everyone's at a different level, right?
Hmm.
And so yeah, I guess I just recognize that people are at those different levels, right? Um, while saying that, like there ultimately is this point in time where there is no choice, right? And I feel like that's also kind of here too. So it's like I get it, but
That's
I
the
feel like
point. Nobody has a
you really have
choice.
no choice.
You
Yeah.
have no choice. I mean, the whole notion that people think they can opt out of the system is hilarious. Because if you opt out of the system, guess what? You can't do nothing else.
Mm,
You
true.
still have to be tied in some way, somehow.
Yeah.
You
Very
can't,
true. Very
you
true.
can't
Yeah.
transact. You can't. I mean, unless you're living off of straight cash transactions, which is almost impossible today, depending on where you live. You have no way to survive, no way to thrive, no way to do anything. You're just gonna be this little hermit in this little hole somewhere on this plane, and that's all you are. How is that adding value? How is that having a good life? How is that something that you actually want? I don't think people want that. It's one thing to not want friction, which I understand, but it's another thing to not want to stand up for yourself, which is what I do not understand, which is what people are opting to do when they opt to try to evade what they cannot evade. Because it would be different if you actually could. Then I would completely understand it. I would be doing the same damn thing. But I'm doing what I'm doing because guess what? There's no other way. We literally just went over this. Go watch Die Hard, all of them, please.
Yeah. 100%. Um, yeah, I had something I was going to say there, but I don't remember where I was going to go. Um, yeah, and I think we all kind of had that crazy uncle that was cash only and owned like a fucking junkyard or some shit. Like
Hmm.
I think in a lot of people's family that they had something like that. I think that you could still kind of skate by doing that. I think it's much harder to do something like that now. But guys like you and me, like we're a creature of our environment, right? And like you've been taught survival at the highest levels. And so it's very hard for you to see people who don't want to take accountability for their own survivorship.
I can't
That's why I
respect it,
think
bro.
it's
I can't
yeah, I think
respect it
that's
and
why
I
it's so
won't.
difficult for you.
I
Yeah.
mean, we're at a point in time where if your ass is not on a death path, you're fucking lucky. Because a
Hmm.
lot of people are. And I have family members in that group. So it's not like it's a DNA thing. You know, you either opt to survive and succeed or survive and thrive, which is the optimal term, or you're just waiting to die. That there's no in between as a human being. Period. So, yes, tribes do pay taxes, by the way,
They
in
do
case your
actually, yeah.
ass don't fucking know. So, again, know the enemies, know the players in the game. We're playing a real life game. This is not a video game. I think people need to really wrap their heads around that shit right there because
Yeah, that's true, man.
there's no avoiding anything, people. Period. You can't put pause on this motherfucker and go take a piss and come back later.
Yeah, hit save, reset, restart.
It's none of that, man. Like I'm
Save
not trying
save
to be
states.
yeah, like I'm really not trying to be a dick. I'm really trying to be helpful and help people understand how serious this shit is.
Hmm.
Because we're all sheep as long as we want to be. Because
Yeah, that's true.
I was a sheep too. No matter how woke you are, right? At your youth or whatever, right? Because we're all woke to some extent. We're still all sheep, right? I've been trading for fucking 10 years. I was a sheep in that aspect. So we're all sheep in one aspect or the other. And mind you, this is me knowing that the system was a farce because I understood what happened once we defaulted on our money in 1971. I understood that. So I've always known that what I was doing was playing the sheep role. And this is why crypto is so crucial. And this is why I don't back down. I don't bend over. I'm not nice. I tell it to you how the fuck it is every single time I hop on a mic. Because guess what? Game time is fucking over. So if you want to go play games in a sandbox somewhere where you think you can go hide from the system, well, go right the fuck ahead. But don't act like you got to say or can contribute in any which way because you're opting out. So peace, motherfucker. Don't tell the pros how to handle the business.
Amen.
That's it, man.
Yeah, man. Fuck.
This
I think
shit's
that's
real,
it right
bro.
there.
Look at what they're doing on TV. They got people thinking that they could die.
Yeah.
They got people walking around still with face diapers, even though nothing remotely bad has happened to them in 2 years. So if you think that this shit is a game, I'm sorry, but it's not. Like, go look outside. Go look outside. People need to
You
look
know, it's
outside more.
you know what it's the wildest thing to me during this whole thing. Like, I don't know, maybe like a month in, I started kind of realizing that shit falling off the wall, right? That somebody did a bad
Hmm.
paint job on the wall and now it's falling off. Is from the beginning you kind of have this thought that you're like, well, if this like mysterious thing just kind of popped up out of nowhere, what kind of mysterious shit am I breathing in my nose all day long? What kind of like mystery viruses are all
But what
around
are
me
they
right
not
now?
telling you about?
Right, right, exactly. And like what kind of environmental things like mold or what something worse than mold. Mold exists and you can't see it. So what else exists that you can't see? And it's just like, but this is the one that has like such a high survival rate that this is the one I'm supposed to be scared of. I don't think so. I don't
Magic,
think
huh?
so.
So much
Yeah.
magic in the air. Gotta love it.
And I mean, and on that front, it's like just look at like how what's the word I'm looking for? I don't know. I'm getting tired. So uh like I want to say like durable, but I guess there's a better
Pliable,
word for that. No, in terms of
robust.
like people. No.
Oh,
You'll get it. Let me explain it. So okay, people that go into the military, you guys are poked like what fucking 20 times in the first 6 months
you
with
know what?
all the
I don't
experimental shit, right?
remember. I don't remember getting that many shots when I joined. I remember like the smallpox, which is the biggest one.
Okay.
Of course, the flu, because they
Yep.
definitely got to get you with that one. I think there might have been an anthrax shot at the time, so they got me with whatever the fuck
Yeah.
that
Yeah, they
was.
probably was. Yeah.
Yeah, they got me
Um,
with that shit. But that was kind of it. There's not a whole slew of shots like people think. What there
yeah.
is a bunch of like protocols to ensure that you are capable of joining the military. That's what they do. Like the little duck walk and shit like that. Like that's a real thing.
Yeah. My point with that is that like we can handle a lot of shit as humans. Like you guys get all
Oh
fucking
yeah.
jabbed up to join the service and look at fucking Walmart people. I mean, like we can handle a lot of shit. You know what I mean?
I'm sorry, but that was super fun. Look at Walmart people.
I guess that's like the best way I can say it, but there's like a lot of fucking people who like put a lot of really bad shit in their bodies and they're fucking still walking. That's what I mean by that. They do a lot of dumb shit and they're still fucking walking. So like
It's
we
so
can handle
funny,
a
but
lot.
it's true, bro.
We can handle a lot as humans.
No, but that's a great point, man. That's a great point. Because think about it. They do all these things to try to make us die off. And it's
Yeah.
it's only been recently that they've come remotely close to being kind of successful. Kind of, right? So see, there you go. I don't
Yeah.
remember 15 shots, man.
And I know a guy. Yeah, I know a guy who's like ex special forces and dude,
Oh
he
no,
he
those
told me it was like
guys.
20. It was like 20 shots.
Yeah, those guys, I don't know what the
Yeah.
fuck they do to them. I was gonna do that. So I did the physical. And the physical was pretty intense. So I can only imagine what they make you do once they, actually own you. So I'm
Yeah,
good.
at that level, it's like,
Yeah.
okay,
Yeah.
you graduated. Congratulations.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Dun.
Yep.
Here's a
We're,
bunch
we're gonna
more.
go ahead and take these 20 needles and just give it to you one time. Check.
Yes, sir. Yes,
I
sir.
was like, no, thank you. I'm good.
Yeah. So resilient.
Oh
That's the
shit, we
fucking
got a
word.
meeting. All right,
Jesus.
I gotta hop off,
All right. All right. All right. All right. Jump off. Jump off. All right. All right. All right. Get out of here.
man.
I'm gonna
All
butcher.
right, guys.
Yeah. Thanks for jumping out with me for
Oh, my
this.
pleasure, man. Dude, we could probably stream every day, like I say all the
I know.
time. So, it's never ending.
Yes, sir. All right, we are just at 2 hours as well, so I'm gonna wrap it there. Fuck, guys, thank you so much for jumping on. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for all the continued support. This is what I'm trying to build with everyone else around me. And so, if you guys want to get involved, just raise your hand and reach out to us and get involved in the ways that you want to or not want to play the game with us, right? And yeah, that's all there is to it. We're gonna keep doing this and keep trying to get clarity on this and roll this out, right? Because I think this is
Sure.
the solution. This is a solution, not the a. All right, that's it. Thanks, guys. Share this around, comment, like it, do all the stupid shit that help the algorithm. You know the deal. All right, bye bye now.
Peace.